Hey, how you doing? We're gonna give everybody a little bit. I was on here a little early, but nice you're here. Glad you're here. Oh, you doing all right? First off, can you hear me? That'd be a good thing to figure out. All right, thank you. I was just about to type it. All right. I had a time this morning. My Canon wouldn't connect to StreamYard, and so now I just got to do it on the MacBook. We got about 2 minutes, and I'll go ahead and start. I don't even care if there's one person here. We'll learn together. I think there may be two. Yeah. Go ahead, grab a snack. Might want to grab a notebook too, if you ain't got one already. I'm gonna give everybody homework today. Good evening. Yeah, like I was saying, I was trying to give everybody a few minutes before we get started. Oh man, I cut my. Mm. Mm-hmm. 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. All right. Get all my notes ready. Yeah. Hello. All right, we got us a little bit of. All right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right. little McConaughey there. All right. Buster, did you get back in here before I get started? Did you get your snacks and all that? All right. All right. So, kind of what I wanted to start with was I think before we can really discuss it, we needed to kind of talk about where it came from and why it exists, I guess you would say. So, it's like the archaeology and the ancient wisdom, the weary traveler, so to speak. So, we'll try to I'm going to break it down, so I'm not going to try to just kind of do like the whole Havamal in like a month or something. Um, I'll go through the slides and stuff that I prepared. If y'all want me to stop at any moment, just send me a little message there, and I'll. And I think there's a little bit of a delay, so if I'm not ignoring you if I don't see you right away. All right. So, like I said, we're going to try to explore the origins. And try to do a focus breakdown on 1 through 33. That is, if I don't go off on contingents. Understand the concept of pre-entry environment scanning. Now, I know we've all got through the first little bit of the Havamal if you've read it at all. And I'll try to translate it for the modern, how we use it today. We don't travel a whole lot, on the dirt roads anymore, but there was a time they did that, and it was always good to know your environment. And I think that's more useful today than it would be any other day. So where does they compile this information from? If you don't know, if you do, I'm sorry, it's mundane, I know, but the Havamal came from the Codex Regius, and it's a 13th century Icelandic manuscript, and it was preserved, like I said, 9th and 10th century. It's just those oral traditions kind of compiled. Now, guys, how I feel a little bit about sometimes, when stuff's written down, and it oral, or it's like there's an experiment that we had in school where somebody would tell you a secret and it would go around the room, and by the time it got back to you, it wasn't, quite what you said. So we had to take that in mind, but I think it's pretty close, I would say. So the poetic structure, it was written in like the song meter. And I've been trying to read some of that here lately, man, and it's rough. It's rough. Jackson Crawford goes through it a little bit. I'm thinking about taking his class for it. That way I can better understand how the song meter is, in the Havamal connects together. The continental parallels and functions as wisdom and literature comparing favorable and classical and Anglo-Saxon nomadic poetry. So it's kind of got a little mixture of, all these different kind of tones. I never even realized that the tones of the Havamal were way different than just some of the other writing. And some of the people that can read it, I have a video somewhere buried on my account where I actually had the Icelandic guy singing the Volspa in that meter. I don't think I'll ever get to that point where I could do that, but whoever can, by all means. So 1 through 10 is as we know, the weary traveler. It's scanning the entrances of doorways before stepping through them, and mitigating your risks, so to speak. I do that to this day. When I go in to a restaurant, I don't know if you guys do, or if I'm in a store, and if it's in an unfamiliar environment, I like to find the uh, the exits. And I know there was even a shooter here in the states like yesterday. And people being wary of their environment, and somebody that was maybe not a Norse pagan or anything, but he was aware of his environment and he took that guy down. So, it goes back to that observing your surroundings quietly, gathering your intellect before even disclosing who you are. So, like going to a job interview or anything like that, I show up early. Um, yep. There you go. Yeah, you're right on time. We're just getting into it. Like I said, I'll go back as you guys pop in. I'm trying to go through. Yeah, I'm doing good. I hope everybody else is doing good. Uh, Everybody's been attentive and listening so far at me rambling. Um, I was telling Buster earlier when he got here, he was the first guy here, and I had a time with my Canon today. It would not connect to my MacBook. So we're using the MacBook camera. So if I'm not always focused on the camera, it's because all my material's over here. So I'm not ignoring you. It's just, yeah, I don't want to move all that stuff over here. So, but anyway. Yeah. All right, Pagan Prince. Y'all need to take notes. I am giving homework for next week. It's on one of my slides. So to going back, um, let me go back to here. We had a couple. If you don't know, like, can everybody see my slides on here? So that I'm not just clicking through here thinking that you guys can see it. Let me know. We went through like the historical manuscript, where it came from, like the Codex Regius, and how it was, preserved. How the Codex Regius preserved the 9th and 10th century oral traditions, and then how it was written in like a song meter. That, like I said before, I'd love to learn that, but I tried. All right, thank you, Buster. Pagan. They're tiny. Yeah, let me see. I can probably do this. There we go. It should be bigger now, so you don't need a magnifying glass. I was wanting to look at my pretty face there for a little bit. But so it's like on the slide here, through the Codex Regius. It was written in song meter, and yeah, I would. There's no way right now. I don't have the brain capacity for it. I've heard people do it, and I just, yeah. And grandma would read some of that stuff like that, but yeah. And then the functions of the Havamal is, wisdom, literature, Yes, I was fooling with it a little bit ago. Like I said, I was like, wait a minute, can I see all this? But yeah, all the slides moving forward should be like this. It took me about 4 days to put these together. But it functions as wisdom literature, comparing favorable with classic and Anglo-Saxon nomadic poetry. So there's a little bit of everybody in that thing. They kind of piled it up. And then we kind of talked about so far the scanning every entrance and doorway before stepping through to mitigate your asymmetric risk. I think today, as we move forward and some of the things going on in the world, that this is, while I always say that the world needs paganism, because, you're not just condemning people for not acting a certain way. We're trying to like tell you, look, this, you need to be observant. You need to, observe everything, your surrounding quietly, gather intelligence. Like I said, if I go to an interview, or if I'm gonna do some film work for somebody here in town or out of town, I always show up early, so that I can, kind of scan the environment. And then basically, it's like the mother wit and self reliance. It's a survival tool if you really read it. Um, I wanted to go back through and read it all over, and I'm going to do it with you guys instead of just doing it by myself. So, so like number one is where the gates ere man shall go. Fully warily let him watch. For long let him look about. For little he knows where a foe may lurk. So you may have somebody there that, I look at it like this too. If you, even at your job, um, I don't divulge much of my information at work. Like I said, when people did find out, like my boss in general found out, he had a lot of questions, and thought that I was, angry at him because he prayed after a meeting. And I'm like, no, I don't care. I'm steadfast in my belief. And he was like, well, what do you believe in? And I'm like, well, I believe in good morals and being a good person, stuff like that. So yeah, it's self-reliance in the sense that you need to, you know, rely on yourself, but you also need a community at the same time. But when you're, especially when me and my wife are out, I still walk on the outside. Um, uh, and be honest with you, I don't think that anybody taught me that. That's just something that just picked up. Um, and I always like you know, at the store and everything. I'm always looking around and being very observant. Especially riding a motorcycle back and forth to work. Yeah, you better be observant. And I know you guys are too, because y'all strike me as some very intelligent folks. And if you guys are not following the Pagan Prince, you need to follow him. He's doing some good stuff there. I appreciate all his posts, along with Tyrdom. Tyrdom's Tyrdom talk was pretty good yesterday. I'm the one that sparked that one, I believe, because I had posted something about the lady with the boat painting her boats and stuff, and it was good to see that. So herein the forgetfulness, a metaphor for intoxication, right? So overindulgence, stripping away the mental sovereignty. So in the Havamal, it talks about, a leader must obtain absolute cognitive clarity in the unknown of company, the capacity for critical decision making and compromise when it is compromised when sensory input is clouded by excess. So we hear about Odin and Thor and the drinking, but even in Odin talks about how he would drink, but he would have to maintain that drinking as to not get slobbery drunk. Um, if you don't get slobbery drunk, then you still have your senses to you. Um, and then, like it says, avoid premature disclosure or knowledge or operational capacity. Don't tell people what you know, especially if you don't know them. Tactical silence and short. See, like the military needs us, guys. You see this? The one strength remain unmapped and unexploited by potential adversaries. So we know what that is. That's kind of like, don't show your cards all right away. Don't go out there pumping your chest up. And that, I think that leads to ruin, because you're exposing yourself. What do you guys feel about that? You feel like, when you go out to have a drink, you should probably limit that drink, or just have at it? Yeah, he does. Odin teaches how to be an intelligence officer. He sure does. He does. It's written right here. It's written in the Havamal. Now, how many of you guys have a Havamal or access to it? Do you have an online or paperback? Because if not, we can probably. I know that I got my new one for online. I did it free on Amazon, like that Kindle version. I did that so I could have it at work. Not to mention, I can listen to it, as I'm riding around in my helmet. So if you have access to a Havamal, it's going to be all right. Good one. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So y'all are prepared. Look at y'all. Crawford's is a good one. Uh, Crawford's is a good one. There's a couple. I have the study Havamal where it has like the three different translations. Okay, yeah. As long as it's there, as long as you got the text, because when I give out homework, you're gonna have to, I mean, of course, you could probably do a good Google search, but uh, there's so many of them on there. But I worry about just Googling it because I think that Jason's got to go. I got his too. Hang on, let me see. Yeah, I got it. I got it put up so it don't get messed up. I bought his for just to be, supportive of somebody in the community. Um, his is a good one. But what I do, I don't know, it's been a while since I looked at mine. Does he have the original and then the translation, or is it just the mod? I think it's just the modern, right, Buster? I think it is. I think it's just the modern, but I could be wrong. Um, yeah, I need to move that crap. I don't like how it gets over my. Let me see. Let me get rid of that. There we go. All right. I don't like how it covers my words. Just a modern. Okay, so what I would do, Buster, too, he isn't. It isn't wrong, but by all means, you can download a free one that has like the original, just so that you can kind of compare what he's saying to what the old text was. And from I read his, and it's right on. He's not wrong at all. But um, I don't know. I just like having the original too. It's good to have that translation, but you know, maybe I'm just a nerd like that. I don't know. I don't look much like a nerd, but I am. I love to learn. And I got a video that's coming out this week, guys. I wasn't even gonna. This one hit me yesterday. Danish. Okay, I'd like to see that one. I may have to look at that and see what the Danes wrote. Uh, I like that. Okay. Now, I saw one in Icelandic. My buddy that is a Gothi over in Iceland, Jokul. I got to get used to that Jokul. He showed me his, and it was beautiful. So the practical applications. So this is kind of what Jason Savage hits on in his Havamal, is that you're assessing your social and professional operational spaces. I kind of like what I tell you, even at work, being being the loudest person in the room, or on the job site, depending on where you work. Uh, Listening with sharpening hearing and prioritizing. I can't talk today. Info and gathering. I cannot talk today. I think my camera not connected to my computer just it fried my brain. Um, Intellectual sovereignty, maintaining emotional regulation and strategic clarity in high risk settings. So you don't want to overreact to everything. You do need to react, but you don't want to overreact. Um, like my dad, that he was in the military, uh, and he served in Vietnam, and he saw a lot of people, you know, get the axe, so to speak, because they were just being, you know, they go out there and get overexcited and, you know, Pagan Prince, you should know a lot about that. Being able to maintain emotional regulation. Uh, I believe you said you were prior military, correct? I believe so. Let us know in the comments. Um, so, do you guys take time when you go to places to look at the whole area? You know, uh, we all get complacent, and in this day and age, like I said, this Havamal is going to be what we need to. Uh, we need to get back into paying attention to our surroundings. I don't care. I work in the park system, guys, and I see people on their worst days and their best days, and parks can be dangerous. And take for instance one of my staff. He says he was just looking on his phone, but I think he went to sleep. He went to sleep in his truck, and he woke up when somebody was trying to get in and sit with him. They were trying to sit with him in his truck. So I'm telling what would have happened. Had one friend that we went in the store together. I was sitting in the passenger seat, and I kept telling him, shut the door, shut the door. And it was 2 seconds later, lady, lady that was needing some money. She forced her way in there in his little door, and then he was trapped. It's kind of funny because I still pick on him about it because he was sitting there acting, David, give me $1, give me $1, give me $1. But it was funny. He was like a little 21-year-old kid. I guarantee he watches where he. But any of you guys that are military, prior military, uh, or you just like tactical things or whatever, or you live in a city. If you live in a city, you have to have that street smarts to you. So, uh, me and my wife, I'll be honest with you, me and Miss Joy, she's down there now, guys, and her store that she's building, a lot of the stuffs are done. I've always done that. People call me paranoid. No, sir, that's not paranoid. That's smart. That's being smart. I don't care. Yeah, they can get bent on that one. That's not being paranoid at all. I don't consider it being paranoid. Yep, street smarts exactly. Um, you learn to I had when we went to Norway, we got to we were on that train for a long time from Oslo to Tunsberg, and this is my first trip over there. And I don't have family. My grandmother's not here. My family that's there, and one of them is on. I know he's watching today, but I had no access to him at that moment because he was out of the country as well. So anyway, we got lost. We had to take a cab, which was very expensive in Norway to take a cab for an hour. So we had to go back to the train station. But we were standing on the platform to get back on the right train, and this young man come up, and he was just. I knew something was wrong because in Norway, being brought up by Norwegian people, we like our space. We like a bubble, like a 5 foot bubble. And he was really close to me. So, I started backing off, and he kept on asking where I was going and this and that. And I was like, I'm just here having a good time. I don't know where I'll end up. And that goes back to not giving up, your information too quickly. He seemed nice at first, but I knew that there was, my all my alarms were going off. Um, so everybody, a lot of tourists. We were not in a spot where tourists hang out, put it that way, because where I was going. Um, so here we go, and right here, weekly assignment, guys. Weekly assignment. I want you guys to identify and audit one doorway or new environment in your life this week while you're out and about where you need better pre-entry due diligence. So it could be a door that you guys go through every day, work, stores, whatever. And then next week for our discussion question, we'll have how do you maintain active situational awareness without becoming paranoid under children. There you go. So yeah, that's going to be kind of our class 2, and it'll hit on reciprocity, boundaries, and enduring reputations. And that'll be, you can read through stanzas 34 to 80 on that one. But I talked for 30 minutes, and I'm going to give you guys plenty of time to ask me questions or make comments so that we can have a little chat and um, just talk about what we're, do we need to improve this as individuals? Uh, are we actively doing it? So, uh, cool. Yep. But what I'd like to say though is, I'm going to do these every week. So once we get through the Havamal, what I'll do is I'll end up um, uh, going to maybe the Volspa or whatever book. We'll pick a book when we start to get close to the end of these, barring, something crazy happening or something like that. Me getting sick or one of the dogs getting sick or Miss Joy getting sick or something. But that's my goal, is to be here every Sunday at 3 to go through these books and more books, and maybe give you guys the like preview of what I'm working on for this week. And this one's going to go back to the time I made the video about your ears ringing, and it's been ringing a lot for me here lately because I don't think I was taking my job as a part of like maintaining nature. I wasn't thinking of it as a ritual, and I didn't always take it serious. So it's going to be more of a how I'm going to correct myself by not listening to my signs, because my ears haven't stopped ringing because I haven't. And then as I've started to realize that the ringing has gotten a little bit better. So that kind of what that video is going to hit on. Kind of me telling y'all, I don't want to tell you how to do this practice. I want to learn with you. I want to show you what I'm doing in my videos. And I'm still working on the documentary, trying to get all that stuff situated. I know Prima, yeah, I'm supposed to be connecting with them and go to Uppsala. I believe that should be kind of like a pilgrimage for Norse pagans, and that's something that I'm going to do to maybe start that. We need to make that a pilgrimage. And you guys are free to, like, anything that y'all want to do some lives on, by all means, let's do it. And then I know there was a couple people that said that they wanted to be here, but they couldn't because they had some obligations, and they'll just catch the rebroadcast. The doorway is to, yes, cyber. That's, dude. It doesn't have to be a physical doorway. It could be the cyber. And I don't know if you guys ever pay attention, but I have Pella Grossa. Oh, Pella Grosso. That's a male connotation. And that's dangerous in Spanish. Man, I'm so jealous. So jealous. Yes. Me and Miss Joy want to see those pretty bad. But she's working on some good stuff. She's making this vulva doll. This lady gave her, well, she didn't give her. She had to buy the big tub of dolls from this older lady, and she's turning them into like vulva. Like, I think they're gonna be about a foot long, foot high. Um, I'm still waiting on your email, Prima, so we can connect. I sent it. I think I sent it to you. Um, but I'll let me. You know what? I'm gonna type in my. Uh, I'm gonna type in my email in case you guys want to shoot me an email. You know, that's something else too. You know, you get so used to these electronic items. Um, I wait for everything to autofill and then I'll forget. Yeah, I had it right. Okay. But I'm gonna put my email down here in the comments, and if you guys ever want to reach out, because sometimes comments on videos don't really. Yeah, but mine is because it reminds me that my brain can be dangerous because I have ADD and I can overthink things sometimes. Um, but yes, that one does. Uh, that's a good one. That's a good reference there. So that's my email down there. Um, I know I sent it to you, Primo. I don't know if you got it or not. Okay. No worries, no worries, no worries. I got that beacon thing on my account now where I'm going to try to put like newsletters and stuff on there, but I've been trying to do like blogs and like little short information posts on the community tab here. But um, just so I can try to keep y'all up with yeah, that's true. Yeah. ADD is something, man. I don't look at, sometimes they say it's a superpower. I know my wife does. She sees me doing about 10 things at once, but there could be times where I stand there and they call it ADD paralysis. You know, I'll just stop for a second, like I'm in here in the studio editing or filming or whatever I'm doing, and I'll go blank. And but gladly I've gotten that under control now. I don't do it as much as I used to. Um, yeah. So, do you guys have any books after the Havamal, or poems or stories, saga stories? We can go over those after we finish the Havamal. It's going to take us a little while to get to the Havamal. We just now scraping the surface. I think there's like 200 and some odd stanzas in this thing, but they're all kind of connected. So, like next week, we're going through 34 through 80. So, kind of breaking it down. I'm not going to sit here and read every one, but I will break down what 34 through 80 is, and then have you guys, read it, and then we'll have these discussion questions. And like Buster's already got one about the internet. We'll talk about that discussion. I think what we'll do is start with the discussion questions, and then uh, we'll move on to whatever slides I have for that week. It takes about a week to put these things together, man. You would think 6 slides wouldn't take nothing, but you know, after you do the reading and then posting, it takes a bit. It takes a bit, but it's all right. I've considered it a labor of love. I love doing this. I love sharing the stories. I love um, filming. Man, if I could, you know, if I could film and not work a regular job, I think I'd do that. Um, but I live in the real world as much as you do guys do. We call him Bill, and he's always got his hands out. Um, Yeah, so that's about all I have. I know I've taken up at least 40 minutes of y'all's time today. 41, yep, 41 minutes. But like I said, I'll leave the floor open for a few minutes, and if you guys got ideas, comments, whatever, we can talk about them. Yeah, it does. I mean, yeah, it is a lot of work. Um, I got the ND filter now for my Canon. And you want to say, David, why is this off? Because a while ago, right before I reached up to grab something and I knocked it off of my head. Yeah, so I got to put that back on after we get done. It did feel small. It did feel like a short bit of time, but yeah, it's my counter says 42 minutes and 57 seconds. It didn't feel like a long time. Yeah, well, see, that's what happens when you're having a good time. Well, I hope y'all have a good time. I don't. Uh, I know. Uh, I'll stay here. I don't care. I had planned for an hour, so I'll be here. Um, let's see. Let me see what else I got going on here. Uh, all right, so like I actually had one, but it didn't. I don't know. It didn't gain any traction. Um, Probably, I guess because I got some money. Like I do a little bit of stuff on TikTok. I don't do it anymore because everybody on there is always looking to fight over something, and I'm just not. Yeah, I don't want to go back to that. I'm not. I'm not here to measure things, if y'all know what I mean, with anybody. I'm not trying to see if I can swing further than somebody else. So I don't spend a lot of time on there. I used to, um, but right now I just didn't. I mean, I'll probably connect to Discord. I can connect to Discord to StreamYard here too. But yeah, I have a Facebook group. Uh, what was that group? But like I said, I don't post on it. Ooh, I like that. We just got. I was out of coffee for 2 days last week. Yeah, felt sorry for my employees. Yeah, my staff were staying away. Man, I bet that's some good coffee. So you're processing your own coffee. Now that's a winner there. Yeah, for sure. I think let's see. Let me look and see if I got that Discord still. Oh, man, you need to send me some of that coffee. Mm, let's see. Trying to see. I hadn't forgot y'all. I was trying to see if I still had that Discord. I don't. Let's see. No, but you know what? I'll create one this week, and I'll leave you guys a link to it in the community tabs. Yes, I'm going to do this every week on Sunday at 3 p.m. That is my goal, unless the gods tell me otherwise. The gods lead me to do something else, then I plan to be here to go through the Havamal, and then we'll all pick out some books together to go through after we get through the Havamal. But yes, thing or not, I think you just popped up. We went through. Excuse me, guys. I'm trying to take my camera down because I wanted to put my filter on while I talk to you guys. See, I'm ADD. I'll do two things at once. So y'all getting a little taste of what Miss Joy has to go through. I haven't forgot you, I promise. I'm just going to do more than one thing at a time. But yeah, I got to get this thing back on there. So like 81, the Havamal, the stanzas 81 through 110 will be women and mead. You know, like controlling your drinking, mythical antidotes regarding Neil Gaiman. You know what? I haven't seen that one. Let me look. Let me look. Y'all give me some good stuff to research. Oh, you know what? I have seen him. He's the author, right? I've seen a lot of his stuff and didn't even know it. I've seen him somewhere. I know I've seen at least one or two of his films. American Gods. Haven't checked out. Yeah. I thought American Gods it had Odin in it, didn't it? I believe it had if I'm not mistaken. Didn't it have wasn't American Gods the one that had Odin in it? Where the guy that played in John Wick as the manager, I believe. I could be wrong. That'll happen from time to time. I'll be wrong. But I promise y'all, I'll reading his Norse mythology book. Oh. Let me see. I hope that ain't the one I got downstairs. Well, should I say Joy's got one? Let's see. No, that ain't the one. I'll have to check that one out in here. And there's no point in wasting it. Maybe I can get Teardom on here with us. Or if they shoot for the stars, maybe Bjorn Bull Henson. Yeah. I told him the other day, I sent him a comment on one of his videos and said I'd like to meet with him when I go over. And he liked it. So that wasn't a no. So what they say in Dumb and Dumber? So what you're saying is there's a chance. But yeah. Yeah, I do. I like condensed things a little bit more than my ADD will check out. So like even when I'm reading the Havamal, I'll have to read it in pieces, or listen to it. Yes, I do. I think he honestly, I'll be honest with y'all, he's the reason I started this YouTube channel. Is because he inspired me. Oh, Miss Joyce trying to sneak in on us, y'all. Come on now.
What?
Come on. Camera's right there.
With you.
You were listening?
No, I said I was going to mess with you. It's freezing downstairs.
It's freezing?
Yeah, it's cold.
Oh, well, Miss Joy got cold downstairs. We keep the house kind of cold. She's in her little workshop building some stuff to sell. But I tell y'all what, that shows you how long it's taken her. She refuses to put anything out until it's completely right. And that's what I love about her. It seems a little frustrating at times, but I'd rather have something that's right, because she'll even, I guess the plan is to, have products that, that we feel that the gods have inspired us to make. And she sits a lot and thinks about, like, what she's going to make and how she's going to make it. And then, like the moon water that's in the travel altars, the little vials, she actually, made an offering and then set the water out for moon water. And that's what I use on my altar over there. In here, we have our main altar is in here, and then we have several throughout the house. But yes, Bjorn Bull Hansen, he's a little bit more ornery than me, but you need that contrast. He's a great guy. I don't have enough to say about him. Like, I've read his book, and if you hadn't read that, you probably need to read his books too. They're pretty good, and he goes to a lot of trouble to get them translated to English and all that good stuff. Jackson Crawford has this course. Yeah. Jackson Crawford has a course, and I'm thinking about taking it. I don't know yet. Because I got a lot of money tied up in trying to get this trip planned, and because I have all this camera stuff that I'm going to have to take with us this time. That, and I refuse to sit in that flight again in coach. No, that was horrible. It was a 15-hour flight. We went from the States to Germany, and then we got out at Munich and had to be shuffled across the airport there. And then we had to get on another flight to go from Germany to Oslo. And that was 2 hours. That flight was okay. But that long flight, I thought, man, I could only think about how the ancestors would have been on those ships, man. And it, there's no TV show out here that can accurately portray how they felt. There's no way. But I guess I am going to jump off and get my week planned. I still have to prep for my lunch. Been dieting and trying to get back in shape. I got up to 300, and I'm back down to like 255 now. So, practicing what I preach. Your body needs to be good. You need to treat your body right. Your mind, you need to treat your mind right. And that's why I want to do these classes. Not classes per se, more or less of a chat, a nice little sit down and chat. But you guys, thank you. I appreciate that. I do appreciate it. It's hard work. See, I even Yes, we do all need that. I look to them daily, um, and there's certain things that I do that I know that they're definitely, definitely following, and showing me which way I need to go. And I hope they do the same for you guys. But I am going to get to work on this week's videos, and you guys have my email there. You can shoot me an email. I check my email quite often since I am. Oh man, it's absolutely it's a blessing for me. Um, uh, I went to the altar, and it you know I appreciate that. I appreciate all that, and I pray and hope that the gods look after you guys this week. And if you don't have an altar, you don't need one. You can just, you know, take time in silence, and you're more than welcome. Many more to come. So I'm I appreciate y'all being here, um, and yeah, we'll see y'all on the flip side. Have a good evening, and I'm going to be checking homework. I'm gonna see what y'all did. Y'all remember what the homework is before we leave? I know some of y'all done left because my counts done went down, but uh, identify and audit at least one doorway in the new environment of your life where you need to be better at pre-entry. All right, all right, y'all be good. We're good at it.